During a prenatal scan, a doctor starkly observed the baby's absence of arms and bluntly told the parents she'd face severe challenges, doubting her future prospects. Despite the doctor's grim prognosis, the parents chose hope and love, deciding to proceed with the pregnancy. 2 decades later, that same doctor comes face to face with the girl. Dr. Landwehr had not thought about the incident with the parental scan of Nicole and Peter for the last 20 years. He had been retired for 5 years now and never expected to be reminded about the girl again. But he was very wrong. He hoped that maybe the girl would not even know who he was, but she knew this from the very start. But in what circumstances did Dr. Landwehr meet the armless girl again? And what was she going to do to him? But before we start our story, smash the like button, make sure to subscribe, and hit the notifications bell so you won't miss any new stories. The new parents-to-be, Nicole and Peter, came to the hospital that day with a lot of excitement and hope. They had been trying for so long to get pregnant, and after a lot of help, they had finally succeeded. They had an appointment with Dr. Landwehr, who had been with the hospital for a long time with a lot of medical experience. However, he did not normally do parental scans or other baby medical procedures. He did, of course, know how to do all these procedures very well, and thus Nicole and Peter very much trusted him to do a good job. The reason Dr. Landwehr was forced to do the parental scan was because the hospital was very much understaffed at the moment. A lot of employees needed to pick up extra shifts, even in areas they were not particularly trained in. Dr. Landwehr was no exception to this, despite him being already one of the more senior employees, and he was anything but happy about it. When the nervous and excited couple entered Dr. Landwehr's office, they immediately felt that the atmosphere was a lot less joyful there. It was clear that the doctor wanted to get this visit over with quickly, and thus he got right to business preparing Nicole for the parental scan. Peter could do nothing but wait for his child's image to finally hit the screen. He was holding his breath as the ultrasound of the child started to come on the screen. Everything looked perfect to their untrained eye, but the expression on Dr. Landwehr's face only seemed to get more and more disgruntled. Dr. Landwehr went back to a certain part of the scan and pointed at the screen. He had seen something that the parents had missed, and they were now all being confronted. It looked like the daughter was missing her arms. Peter and Nicole were, of course, completely stunned by the revelation, and the insensitive comments by the still somewhat annoyed Dr. Landwehr do not make that any better. He mumbled that a child like that would not amount to anything. It would only bring a burden on the world instead of a blessing, and Nicole did not take kindly to those comments. Nicole's voice echoed across the cold room. "We deserve an apology." Her demands sliced through the tension. Dr. Landwehr, caught off guard, blinked rapidly, his face a mixture of surprise and confusion. Nicole stood firm, her gaze locked on the doctor. Peter, although shocked, nodded in agreement, his support for Nicole unwavering in this unsettling moment. Dr. Landwehr, stumbling over his words, tried to form an apology. I am sorry if," he started, but the lack of genuine remorse was evident. His voice trailed off, not fully committing to the sentiment. Nicole's eyes narrowed, recognizing the emptiness behind his attempt. Without waiting for Dr. Landwehr to finish, Nicole adjusted her clothes, signaling it was time to leave. Together, they turned their backs on the doctor, his unfinished apology hanging in the air. His attempt to smooth over the situation was too little, too late. The couple moved quickly, their steps echoing their resolve to stand up against the doctor's inappropriate remarks. Once safely away, Nicole took the lead in lodging a formal complaint against Dr. Landwehr. She meticulously detailed the distress his words had caused, her pen steady but her heart racing. The complaint sent, they felt a small weight lift, a step towards healing. Peter, ever the planner, immediately reached out to another hospital, explaining their situation and seeking a more understanding team. He found a receptionist who listened with kindness, promising to connect them with specialists known for their empathy. At the new hospital, the difference was palpable. Here, doctors spoke with gentle assurance, their words a soothing balm. They offered Nicole and Peter detailed explanations and a clear plan, ensuring them that their baby could lead a happy, fulfilling life. The couple's spirits lifted with each understanding nod, each compassionate smile. Returning home, Peter and Nicole found solace in the quiet of their own space. The day's events had drained them, yet the new medical team's approach left a glimmer of hope. At home, Peter and Nicole sat down, their conversation turning to the future. They spoke openly about the challenges of raising a child with special needs, acknowledging the hurdles ahead while holding onto a shared determination to navigate the path together. Meanwhile, Dr. Landwehr, grappling with the backlash from his past actions, sought out Peter and Nicole, hoping to mend the rift his words had caused. Facing professional turmoil, he reached out, hoping for forgiveness. As tensions rose, Dr. Landwehr, feeling cornered, threatened legal action if they refused to withdraw the complaint. This shocking turn of events threw the couple into a whirlwind of stress and disbelief, turning their quest for acknowledgement into a legal standoff. Overwhelmed by the pressure, Peter made the difficult decision to withdraw the complaint to protect his family. It was a heavy decision, shadowed by doubts, yet he hoped it would allow them to focus on the joy and challenges ahead. Months later, Nicole felt the first signs of labor. With excitement and nerves, they rushed to the new hospital, their car filled with anxious energy of soon-to-be parents. The birth, though fraught with challenges, culminated in overwhelming joy as their daughter was born. She was beautiful, her lack of arms doing nothing to diminish the instant bond that formed." End quote. As they embraced their newborn, Peter and Nicole made a silent vow to support and cherish her. When news of the birth reached Dr. Landwehr, his reaction was one of indifference. Retirement was on the horizon, and his focus lay on concluding his career quietly, away from the controversies that had marred his final years. Dr. Landwehr barely blinked at the news of the complaint's withdrawal, his mind already focused on retirement. His remaining years became a silent countdown, each day a step closer to freedom from the hospital's walls. Over the next 15 years, Dr. Landwehr navigated his career carefully, avoiding controversy. He became a quiet figure, performing his duties but avoiding deeper involvement. Retirement remained his goal, a beacon guiding him through the mundanity. Upon reaching retirement, he was met with applause and commendations from his colleagues. The praise, however, felt hollow against his internal reflections. Memories of past events, particularly the confrontation with Peter and Nicole, tinted the celebration with a shade of regret. Though Dr. Landwehr's thoughts occasionally wandered back to that decisive encounter, he remained largely detached. Following the incident, he chose to avoid pediatric cases entirely, a decision silently accepted by his employer. At his retirement party, a colleague's joke about his avoidance of pediatric work drew laughter. However, the comment struck a chord within him, reminding him of paths not taken. The laughter felt distant, the joke misplaced. At home, the weight of years spent in the hospital environment lifted. Landwehr embraced the calm that retirement offered, ready to begin a new chapter. In the years that followed, Landwehr never returned to the hospital. The institution that once defined his life became a distant memory. One evening, tranquility shattered when Landwehr collapsed at home. His wife, panicked but determined, dialed 911. Her voice trembled as she spoke, fear gripping her heart as she struggled to remain calm. With no time to waste, Landwehr's wife relied on basic first aid to stabilize him temporarily. Her instinctive actions offered a crucial lifeline, providing hope until help could arrive. Despite Landwehr's preference for his former hospital, the urgency of the situation required transport to the nearest facility. His wife, prioritizing his survival, instructed the paramedics to act swiftly. Upon arrival at the new hospital, Landwehr was rushed into emergency care. The medical team worked with precision, their actions a blur as they fought to stabilize him. The medical staff's swift actions ensured Landwehr received immediate treatment. Their expertise and the hospital's well-oiled efficiency showcased their commitment to saving lives. After tense moments and skilled intervention, Landwehr stabilized, much to the relief of his wife and family. The hospital's atmosphere shifted from urgent concern to cautious optimism. His wife, tears of relief in her eyes, whispered thanks, her heart lighter with the news that the immediate danger had passed. Awakening in his hospital room, Landwehr was engulfed by a profound sense of gratitude. The realization of how close he had come to losing everything overwhelmed him. Lying there, he silently vowed to cherish each moment, deeply thankful for the medical team that fought for him. And the attending doctor visited, Landwehr expressed his heartfelt thanks. The doctor's assurance brought comfort, but it was his skill and dedication that had saved Landwehr's life. Grasping the doctor's hand, Landwehr's gratitude flowed freely, a sincere acknowledgement of the care he had received. The doctor's news hit hard: double kidney failure. Sitting up, Landwehr absorbed the gravity of his condition, realizing how serious it had been. The mention of a donor sparked curiosity and gratitude in his heart, a flicker of wonder about the person who had made his recovery possible. Landwehr's thoughts swirled around the revelation of a donor whose generosity had changed his fate. Gratitude welled up within him, mingled with an intense curiosity. The idea that a stranger would step forward offering such a gift was profoundly moving. As he learned more about the critical role the donor had played, questions about their identity deepened. Who was this person who had given so much without expecting anything in return? When Landwehr turned to his wife for answers, her swift denial of being the donor only deepened the mystery. No family member had stepped forward. The life-saving gift had come from someone outside their immediate circle, emphasizing the act's pure selflessness. The search for an external donor had been a race against time, culminating in a stranger's decision to donate. Their act became a beacon of hope in Landwehr's darkest hour, a testament to human kindness. Landwehr sat on the edge of his hospital bed, anticipation coursing through him. The doctor's words about introducing him to his donor had set his heart racing. As the door creaked open, his breath caught. The figure stepping in was shadowed, yet something about her was strikingly familiar. The young woman who entered had a presence that filled the room, her confidence unaffected by her unique physical condition. Her face held a maturity beyond her years, hinting at a life shaped by resilience. Observing her closely, Landwehr realized the connection, the absence of arms linking her to a pivotal memory from his past. The doctor's introduction confirmed his suspicions. The young woman was Peter and Nicole's daughter, the very child he had once doubted. The realization that she had become his donor was overwhelming, stirring a mix of regret, gratitude, and unspoken questions. The weight of the moment settled heavily on Landwehr's shoulders. Here was tangible proof of life's unpredictability, of kindness without bound. The young woman, once the subject of his skepticism, had given him a second chance at life. The revelation was a mirror reflecting Landwehr's past prejudices. Sitting there, meeting her eyes, he understood the full impact of his earlier dismissiveness. In that moment, his views on strength, potential, and value were rewritten. Finding his voice, Landwehr spoke of his gratitude and acknowledged his profound mistake. His words, though small compared to her gift, were necessary. Her act of generosity redefined his understanding of humanity and would guide him for the remainder of his days.